Time for the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet is where I run Kendall through at least 5 cards. I've got 5 today. And it's super fun. So he has to pick a winner out of the 5. So we're going to
I always overthink this every time.
No, but the way that you participate in the Gauntlet, you analyze each card out loud in a very efficient and effective way for the audience. So you actually provide quite a bit of value to the audience while you're going through the Gauntlet. So the first card is an Alex Morgan Obsidian auto. It's a sticker auto, but it's out of 25. And it's orange. So it's an orange serial numbered auto out of 25. Alex Morgan, for those of you who don't know, is like the U.S. women's soccer team best player, essentially. Legend, GOAT. She's in her mid-30s, but she's at least got this World Cup in 2023 coming up. She could keep going after that. Who knows? She's also leading the NWSL in goals this season. So she's the real deal. She's basically the LeBron of the U.S. women's soccer team, for lack of a better example. But I'm sure many of you know who Alex Morgan is. So Alex Morgan's going to go up against, now this card is a $525 card, or you can make an offer, and she's going to go up against Rose Lavelle. The Rose Lavelle Goodwins Champion Auto SGC 1010 for $300 or make an offer. And so Kendall just gets to overthink everything here. He gets to overthink like the pricing, the grade, the player, everything. The on-card auto versus the sticker. I know he loves Rose Lavelle. I think he's like trying to find one of his Rose Lavelle cards right now. That's why he's not talking about Rose Lavelle. Kendall's a big Cincinnati fan, and Rose Lavelle is from Cincinnati, and he's actually holding up the card that he has to pick between here, but it's not an SGC 1010.
Yeah, it's not.
So, but it is the card. So Kendall either gets to pick Rose or Alex in round 1 of the Gauntlet.
Okay, I'm gonna talking out loud here. I love the Alex Morgan play. I think I mentioned this to you at the National, where we saw some Alex Morgan stuff on the table, and I was like, she could be considered one of the best American soccer players of all time, male or female. Like, you don't have to say she could be one of the best female of all time. Like, she could be one of the best. Like, when you look back at names over the last 10, 15, 20 plus years, especially in the female realm, you think Mia Hamm, you think Megan Rapinoe, you think and there's probably like a list of like 5, 6 people. Abby Wambach, for instance. But Abby ended up mentoring Alex, and like Alex came up through that. Like, and Abby was literally there saying like Alex is a stud, like she needs to be on the field. Of course, Alex has a lot of media attention because like she's also beautiful. So that actually goes into her value as well with a lot of traders, which I think this is getting less and less common, honestly, thankfully. For women's soccer cards, people aren't just buying the people that are in like the media or like people who are in the Instagram. For instance, Rose Lavelle, Alex Morgan, they're two different players, 2 different play styles. And you know, like, I don't know how to put this, but they're media wise not the same as well. But Rose could be the next like U.S. women's national team like person to hang the hat on. And I think like, so what I'm looking at here is like Alex is almost a GOAT status for us. Like if we put it in sports card strategy show language, Alex would be GOAT status and Rose would be a star. And I think Rose has the opportunity to become a GOAT, but she's not there yet. Now in Cincinnati, she is. Like everybody's like, that's great. Like I literally saw a Reddit post one time when they were naming the TQL stadium. They were like, so when in fact do we put a Rose Lavelle statue out in front of this was like 3 years ago too, by the way. So like she hadn't even really come on her little like swan song yet. But they're like, when in fact do we put a Rose Lavelle statue out in front of the stadium? And then someone literally commented under that, well, don't you think that's a little much when Rose Lavelle has a statue in front of Rose Lavelle Stadium? Like, that's kind of wild. But like, it was a joke, but that's how much people love her in Cincinnati. Like, she just shows up and people go absolutely nuts. Doesn't matter what game it is. Could be an MLS game. She shows up, people are going nuts. Like, it doesn't matter. So I think in my immediate context, Rose is a really good investment. But I am going to take Alex Morgan on this because of her likability across across all people. Like, there's people all over the world that know who Alex Morgan is, and an out of 25 auto of Alex Morgan and an Obsidian. So I do have that card that you just showed, the Rose Lavelle one, the Goodwin Champions. I do have this. It's an upper deck card that also plays into this, I think, because upper deck is a fine product, but the Obsidian cards are wildly popular. Like, Paul, when we were at the National, which cards were flying off the table? Obsidians.
Everyone was talking about Obsidian too. Like, everyone was just jacked up about Obsidian. I had no idea. I mean, I knew
really,
it was
really
popular.
cool product.
That popular.
Yeah, really cool product. Probably my favorite product. I bought a Obsidian Gio Reyna last year out of 30 for a lot cheaper than it is worth now. It's actually in the PSA submission. So looking forward to getting that Gio Reyna numbered Obsidian back. But the Alex Morgan and it being Obsidian, I'm going to have to go with Alex Morgan here.
All right. Cool. And Rose Lavelle, by the way, is only like 26 or 27. So she's got a lot of upside. All right. So Alex is going to go against a young woman that you mentioned earlier on in the show as a buy. And this is Sophia Smith. So this is the Sophia Smith Parkside NWSL on-card blue auto. So the blue auto in this set is there's 250 of them. So they're not serial numbered like a traditional card. It's kind of cool. They've got different color ink. So Sophia signed 250 of them in blue. And this is a little bit more, the seller wants a little bit more for this one. And this one has sold for around this price a few times. As I was doing my research for my Sports Card Investor article on this particular topic. It's just so funny that Kendall mentioned Sophia Smith as a buy earlier on in the show, and neither one of us had any idea, and I had her in the Gauntlet. So now Kendall has to pick between a Parkside card, which is the first time we've ever had a Parkside brand card on the show, and Panini Obsidian Alex Morgan.
So I think this is interesting because I think Sophia Smith is, like, obviously we just talked about her. She went to, or well, we have talked about her actually, and I'm actually planning on talking about this specific card in like 10 minutes. I literally have it already pulled up on my page. But so this is Sophia Smith episode, clearly, which makes me think I have to pick her, but I'm going to give you the reasons why I'm not going to. And here's why. Parkside itself is a growing brand. I think it eventually gets acquired. The CEO of Parkside is we've heard the marketing department. Trey and I have talked to a few of the people in Parkside, and they're really passionate about what they do. They really love their product. Their product has gained a lot of popularity over the last 2 to 3 years. And they're doing some really cool stuff. Like, I think they're bringing the attention to the right place when nobody else was going to. And I think they're going to get a massive paycheck for that someday, because Topps is going to wake up and say, oh, yeah, we do need to make NWSL cards, and Parkside has the rights to it. So I think they get a massive paycheck someday, and I'm proud of the Parkside, what they've done. So this is volume 2, and I think there's a volume 1 in volume 1 and 2 in each, if I remember the Parkside correctly. So there's 2 editions that come out every year. So I have this Sophia Smith card that I have in my hand is a 2021 card, but it's a volume 1 edition of her card. So this is the signature version, and it's a little bit of like an insert. It would be the same as like so the MLS does the what's it called? The MLS does the Pitch Prodigies insert.
Yeah, Pitch Prodigies.
Which is like this. So this Cade Cavalli or Cowell, sorry. Cade Cowell, pitch prodigy Sapphire is like this is like the same thing that we're seeing Parkside do with the autos section there. So, interestingly enough, Sophia Smith plays for the Portland Thorns, and she played for Stanford Cardinals, which is a really, really good team in women's soccer. And there's another Stanford Cardinal that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But so she plays for the Thorn. Alex Morgan played for the Thorn for quite a long time as well. So Alex played for the Thorn for 2013 to 2015, which was one of the longest stretches of her careers, actually, because she's played for a ton of teams. And so she scored 15 goals in 36 appearances for them. And Sophia Smith has scored 15 goals in 32 appearances for them. So that is stinking wild, first off, that these girls are similarly very statistically the same, but she's also had 8 goals in 21 U.S. women's national team. And of course, Alex Morgan has 118 goals and 196 appearances. So definitely flyer versus legend here. $1,000 Sophia Smith card versus how much is the other one? 500.
Alex is going to be about 525.
Okay, so are you going to give me the choice between Alex Morgan plus $300?
Of
Because
course.
I think I could get this down to about 800 on the Sophia Smith.
Yep. Will broke dude get Kendall's money, or will Lutok 54?
In this situation, I think I'm going to, if I get the Parkside card down to $700-800, I'm going to go with Sophia Smith.
Boom, here we go. Let's go Sophia Smith. Okay, so Sophia's going to go up against a little bit more of a traditional name that all of you are probably hearing about on all the other sports card podcasts. We don't like to be Captain Obvious. We like to talk about Sophia Smith, Parkside, other plays. But we also got to talk about Josh Allen, because it is football season and Josh Allen is the quarterback that everybody wants. I don't necessarily agree with that, but he is probably the hottest name, the most obvious name flying out of everyone's mouth these days. And so I had to throw him in the gauntlet just for some fun, to go like Sophia Smith versus Josh Allen. So this is a Josh Allen 2018. It's just your basic Panini Donruss rated rookie PSA 10. So it's just a very liquid card. People know what they're getting. They know what the price is going to be, what it should be, all that stuff. And so this card is less. It's about half the price of the Sophia Smith auto. Probably a lot less risky, but who knows?
Southern Soccer Idiot made it to the show.
The idiot's here. What's up, Southern Soccer Idiot? Are you knowledgeable about the NWSL like Kendall is? He says that Alex Morgan is the Ronaldo of women's soccer, talented, hard worker, solid goal scorer, and attractive smiley face soccer.
Yeah, you can't deny she is. That's
good
true.
work. Good work, SSI. We love you, and we're glad that you're on the episode. So right now, Sophia Smith Parkside blue auto out of 250 is facing off against just a basic Josh Allen rated rookie PSA 10.
So is it 1-for-1, or price wise do I get 2 Josh Allens?
I'd give you 2 Josh Allens.
All right. Well, then I know this is going to sound very rushed, but I'm going to choose the 2 Josh Allens, and here's why.
Boo!
Because I would immediately sell these in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And the Parkside Sophia Smith will probably still be there in 2 weeks, and I can just rebuy the Parkside Sophia Smith, because the Sophia Smith is a long-term hold. Like this is
That's
like
a good point.
You are on the, if you're buying a Sophia Smith auto out of whatever it was in, you're wanting to hold that when she's becoming, or when she is the next, Alex Morgan, Rose Lavelle, Megan Rapinoe, Abby Wambach, Mia Hamm. Like you're wanting her to become that kind of a goal scorer. And to be fair, she's not there yet. Josh Allen is already there. And so this card, super liquid, everybody's going to walk up and be like, that's a Josh Allen card. You know, like people are going to walk up to Sophia Smith and be like, who's this girl?
Right.
You know, like I can literally see myself posting these two. Like, say I rent a table at a Kentucky card show. I put this card down on one side. I put Sophia Smith down on the other side. Then somebody looks at my table and they're like, Josh Allen. And they're going to be like, who's that girl? You know, like, I mean, that's just
They're
how
gonna
it's
offer
going
you
to
like
go.
$7 for Sophia Smith.
Yeah, honestly, if you just put those two cards out there and then just didn't have a price tag on them, nobody would like. People would be like, $30 maybe. You know, like they would have no idea that that's worth a $700, $800 card. But there's somebody out there that does, and when Sophia Smith blows up, I can rebuy in at that same price from broke dude because he needs more money. So I'm going to buy these two Josh Allens, flip them for week 1 or week 2 when Josh Allen just absolutely balls on somebody. And then I'm going to flip it back over to the Sophia Smith.
Love it. Let us know in the comments who you'd rather have in the Gauntlet. And I'm super proud of this Gauntlet. There's one more card left. I'm proud of this entire Gauntlet for several reasons. One of them is because I'm including this Ja Morant PSA 10 photo variation layup 2019 Prism PSA 10. So this is a $250 listing. But let me just tell you, if for those of you rolling your eyes at a 2019 Prism Ja Morant PSA 10, just hold on a second, because the pop count on this card, photo variation, is 537. The pop count on the one that you're probably rolling your eyes at, which is the base Prism PSA 10 rookie, is basically 20,701. So there are 20,701 PSA 10s of his Prism base rookie, but there are only 537 of this layup photo variation, and it is Ja Morant. So now you're talking about Josh Allen versus Ja Morant, and it is basketball card buying season. So you're getting this pretty low. Ja's gonna spike during the season several times, and you're gonna be able to make money off of Ja. Kendall, who are you taking here, Josh Allen or the Ja Morant photo variation PSA 10 card? You don't really see that often.
Yeah, I've never seen this one actually. Would you just humor me and look up the pop count for Josh Allen rated rookie base out of 10? Because I'm sure it's around 21,000.
Yeah, so this is going to be 57. Will you help me remember this number? 57689,157. 5768917. For those of you who don't know what I'm doing, I'm on card.com/cert, and I'm typing in the certification number that appears on the front of this Josh Allen card. Looks like I missed the number. 57689,157. 157. Here we go. And you click verify, and it refreshes, and you have a pop count, and it is 5,609.
Way less than I thought.
So it's a quarter of what Kendall thought it was. So you get, but it's still 10 times higher of a pop count than the Ja Morant card.
And are you giving me 2 of these as well?
Or yeah, well, since you have 2 Josh Allens, you would get 2. Yeah, you'd get 2 of these. While you're thinking, Toa says one of the most underrated Ja rookie cards is his NBA Hoops Premium and Parallels. The action shot is one of the best. Yeah, I know what Toa is talking about. There's some Ja rookies that have way better action shots than his Prism card. His Prism is just a really boring photo. You've got a lot of that happening, unfortunately, with the 2018, 2019 Prism. Miles Bridges' card sticks out to me too as one which is it's just a horrible photo. Like, he could have so many amazing dunks, and they're just showing. Same with Ja, they're just showing a weird pose. But anyway, Kendall, you want to talk us through what you're thinking here?
Yeah. So I'm trying to evaluate the marketability of a rated rookie base versus a photo variation here. Obviously, Prism basketball is like what people want, but I'm not sure that people would look at this and be like, "Oh, that's a photo variation." Like it doesn't say photo variation on the slab like some of them do normally, which means that you're going to have to convince somebody, or they're going to have to know.
Yep.
Which I'm trying to evaluate. Okay, do I want to have that riffraff go on, or do I want people just to know what this card is? And I think that's why this is $250 right now. If it, this shouldn't be $250. You're going to make money on this in half a second, literally.
Yeah.
Like I think this is a card that I would already be buying. But at the same time, the Josh Allen card is like that's the iconic Josh Allen card that people think about. The rated rookie, like the base, him without his helmet on, looking into the future, like that's just a classic. Like you could literally replace Josh Allen in that exact same pose with like um, Staubach or something, and that's just like the classic quarterback pose on a classic card. Um,
I'll give you the blue carpet too.
oh wow, okay, then I'm definitely going John Morant. That's um, nice little Bills touch there with the blue carpet. I wonder if they did that on purpose. Um, this is hard. I think it's splitting hairs for me. So just because I think if you're giving me two of these, and I think John Morant's prices are going to go up over the next 3 months, and then I can still turn around and buy my Sophia Smith, I'm going to take John Morant.
He's taking the jaw photo variation. And I will say that I agree with you on your comment about this not being noted by anything as being recognizable other than the fact that it's a different photo. Like for PSA to just put layup on it, I think is like pretty bush league. I think
Yeah.
it should say short print or super short print or whatever it is officially on it, and it should at least say layup photo variation or photo variation. I would much rather have photo variation than layup. I just don't. I just I know PSA doesn't have to do this, but I just think it's bush league that they wouldn't in some way denote that this is a short printed card or a variation. It just says layup. Like that doesn't even mean anything. And then I know that there's historical precedent for stupid stuff like this too, with like towel up, towel down. Like I mean, that stuff doesn't mean anything. Like but SP, SSP, serial numbered, like those kinds of things. We talked about this. PSA doesn't even put the serial number on the slab. And
Do you
so
think this has to do with the way that you input it?
I don't think so. I think that it's I mean maybe let us know in the comments if you know anything about this and why they do this a certain way. But I think because I've inputted certain things into my PSA submissions that don't get in there. I've inputted certain things into my SGC submissions that don't get in there. I think ultimately the greater and the QA team check and double check and triple check what card it actually is. Of course, they still make mistakes, but I think this is the way they slab it, which I think is stupid to put layup on it. That's just an aside. I wasn't even thinking that when I put it in the gauntlet. I'm glad you brought that up because that is kind of a beef I have with PSA. I like that. I think SGC does a better job of at least saying this is what the card is, and they always put the serial number in there. So if that's the failsafe to me. Now this card isn't serial numbered, but it is a significant photo variation in that its PSA 10 pop count is significantly lower, which is different than a serial number, but it's still there's only 500 and some of these cards out there. So, but you're right. I don't like the fact that when you have to convince somebody that it's worth something. I never like that. But you said Jaw won, right? So Jaw won
Yeah,
the
I am gonna do the jaw just because it's the lower pop count. You're gonna make this is gonna be a flip. Like if you're buying Josh Allen right now, you probably could have bought him better a week or 2, 3 weeks ago. I think, of course, it is quarterback collecting, but also at some level, basketball is kind of point guard collecting. So,
Yeah, for
um,
sure. They're kind of the
it-
same thing.
yeah.
All right, cool. So I just